Camera, minister sitting here, you move skip. Oh, yeah. Sorry, yeah. It's okay. You can take over that seat. Alright.
So I don't do that in the middle of the panel.
You put this
Ladies and gentlemen, can we have the panelists take their seats, please? Marie? Yeah, Marie, please have a seat. Siti Kamaluddin, have a seat. Seorang lagi. This is Mati.
Okay.
Because in Malay dia
sorry, I'm very specific with what I
Ladies and gentlemen, if you could settle down, we'll start in a short while. Everybody can take their seats. If you don't have seats, there's standing room only. Those who are can have seats. Alright, thank you very much for attending this interesting session. But before I proceed, I'd like to call upon Ms. Liban Tajan, Festival Director, to say a few words.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you and welcome Yang Berhormat Datuk Sri Rohani, who has graciously consented to be the host for this event. To the members of the panel, Dr. Mazlida, thank you for agreeing to be the moderator. Matido, Datin Paduka Suhaimi, Mary Lee, Siti Kamaluddin. Here, Siti is doing double job here. She's actually a member of the jury. She's from Brunei, and also I kind of like made her volunteer to be one of the panel tonight. Thank you as well to the ladies here and to the gentlemen who support this cause of ours, women in the creative industry. We feel it is an important issue to address because, you know, film industry has always been dominated by men. But now it's not the same situation. It's opening up. We have a lot of women in the film industry, as you can see here. Give a big hand. Yes. So for us, we feel in IFA is the rise of women. The rise of women, we can do so much. And I've asked Dato' Sri Rohani, do you mind to be the host for this event? The host as in, you know, you are dealing with women. You are dealing with community development. You are dealing with social issues, so many things. Men may deal with films that doesn't necessarily touch these issues. For women, it reaches our heart because these are issues. When you talk about child abuse, you talk about children's problem, that's us. But how do you make people understand the situation? You can if you do a good film. And I think there are many good films now coming from other countries. Datin Suhaimi showed us a good film during the Sarawak Youth Shortcuts. What was the name of the film? The Apprentice. The Accountant. The Accountant dealt with autistic children. But it was done in such a good way. You know, you wanted to see the film, but it was teaching you about autism. So those are the things that we hope women filmmakers will take up. Not the ability to show films that highlight our problems, highlight our issues, children, community, welfare, prostitution, child abuse, violence, so many issues in our society. And in ASEAN, we feel there is something common about our issues. In the Philippines, in Malaysia, you know, when you talk about human trafficking, so many things are the same. So IFA is a great venue, a great platform to bring people together. It's a great venue for women filmmakers to come together and talk. What's next? What should we do? IFA provides this platform for you all. So I thought, why not? Okay. Okay. So when we thought, why not, we have the platform, why not get women together, let them talk. This is the beginning. IFA being ASEAN International Film Festival and Awards, it happens once every 2 years. So when we come together like this, maybe initially it's just, something to talk about, but who knows down the line, you will have something concrete, real films coming for ASEAN to share. When we started the film festival in 2013, it was just an idea and the state government was very supportive. Why not a film festival for ASEAN? We have grown, we believe. We started with 80 films in 2013. This time we have 108 films submitted from throughout ASEAN. So we know we are reaching out to people. Films that come in deals with many, many issues. People call them third world issues. Third world issues, corruption, things like that. But they are our issues. So why not issues that we women face as mothers, as supposedly the weaker gender, yeah? So that's what we're here for. I hope this is the beginning of something bigger for women in the filmmaking industry. I have purposely roped her in because she's always very supportive of causes that can help women. She is the minister for all this, as I would say, the lesser members of our community. It is our role to help them, people who are not able to help themselves. So why not through film? So that's one of our ideas here today. So I thank you very much for coming. I also thank all these ladies here for agreeing to come and talk about what they feel they can do, what has been done, and how to work towards the future in ASEAN. We forget sometimes that ASEAN is 600 million people, which is a very, very big number of people to reach out through films. We are so focused on our own country, we don't realize that we can also probably work together with another country, whether it's through film cast, through crew, across borders. So today was a very exciting day for us this morning because we have a partnership now with the Southeast Asia Audio Visual Association. It was started in 2015. A few delegates came. We started this idea of why not provide finance. So today, this morning, marked a very historic time for IFA because IFA signed a deal with SAVA. So we brought in, this time, 30 million USD worth of film financing. I thank, Dr. Mazlina actually came to pitch for the finance, I have to confess that. And she graciously agreed to be the moderator as well. Well, since you're flying to Kuching, why don't you moderate this talk? I hope her film is about women issues or children issues. That's what we like to see. Who knows in the future, maybe we will have certain categories for this film finance. Films that deal with women, films that deal with Sarawak, films that, so then it becomes segregated because right now it's the first time we're doing this. Happy to report to you all, over 30 people came to pitch. They flew on their own from throughout Southeast Asia to pitch for these films. We are giving between $500,000 to $1 million USD for every film. So that's a step. That's a good step for the film festival. That's a good step for Sarawak because Sarawak is also keen to promote itself as a film location. That's why the state government is very heavily involved in this film festival to promote Sarawak. So hopefully you all will think, why not film in Sarawak? We now have Tan Sri Misha Yo's company doing a film most likely in the Mulu Caves. Yes. Today we signed an MOU with a China film company called Guangdong. So they are doing a film on Admiral Ang Cheng Ho. Yes. So that's for Sarawak. So we can help. We are the platform. We can help to get people connected, different groups, different leaders together. That's our role. But only remember, it happens once in 2 years and it's always in Kuching. Yeah? So remember that in 2019, watch out for us again. Thank you very much.
We have as our host Yang berhormat Datuk Seri Hajah Rohani Abdul Karim, who is the Minister of Women, Family and Community Development. His Gracious Dr. Mazalida Hamzah from the Creative Media and Technology Hub. Credentials. First, I'll introduce from my left, Datin Paduka Shohaimi Baba, acclaimed director of especially Tanda Putra in 1957 Hati Melaya. She won the Best Director in the 1997 Festival Film Malaysia, and also the Brussels International Independent Film Festival. Next to her is Matty Do. Matty Do can claim to be the first female director of a Lao feature film. Her first directorial debut is Chantale, which is the first horror film written and made entirely in Laos. And then we have Marie Lee from Singapore. She is the first female international actress from Singapore. Her movie is they call her Cleopatra Wong. And believe it or not, Quentin Tarantino has used that movie with her acknowledgement to make Kill Bill. Wow, yeah. That's Marie. And next to Marie is Siti Kamaluddin. Siti Kamaluddin is another first female director in Brunei Darussalam. Director That's Rono sangat. Too many ladies. Okay, Siti is the first female director in Brunei Darussalam. Her directorial debut, Yasmin, won the international. Sorry, where is this? It's an international feature film, Best ASEAN, Best Asian Film Festival at the Neuchâtel International Film Festival. Is correct? And last but not least, we have Nan P. Anas from Indonesia. Her highly acclaimed Pasir Berbise won the how shall I say, Fish Presi Award in Seattle. Pasir Berbise also nominated for the Citra Best Film Award. So before we go anywhere with this topic, I'd like to invite Yang Berhormat Datuk Hajah Rohani, Datuk Sri Raja Rohani, to say a few words.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much for my first ever. This is my first ever. Thank you so much for inviting me to be around. I think for this such an important occasion, and I think Livan, you have been organizing this. This is the third time. I think I went to any one of them? Yeah, I was never included. The party convention today and tomorrow. But anyway, thank you, Livan Tajam and your team for, I think you're working very hard, and I think that she has created a name already when it comes to IFA. The imagination is something like rainforest. You know, rainforest is already like a name, you know, and it's established. So the same thing with IFA, and this is the third. So welcome kepada Datin Paduka Shohaimi Baba. Now, as I said, this is the first time I'm meeting all of you in person. In person. Kalau tidak, I see you all film, TV dan sebagainya. So the person, very warm-blooded person. Liza Dino. Oh, she's not here.
The plane is flying still.
Oh, the plane is still flying. Okay. Okay. Mary Lee from Singapore, Matty Do from Laos, Siti Kamaluddin, Brunei, Nan Agnas. Yeah, okay. First time also see in person. And of course our moderator today, Dr. Mazalida
Hamza, get it correct. Mazalida Hamza. Because I have another one that is Datin Paduka Mas something kan. You know that goes through Antarctica tu. Datin Paduka apa tu. Not bad, you know, women ni dia even go through Antarctica dan sebagainya. Yeah, no, oh sorry, must speak in English. Yeah. So thank you so much, Dr. Mazalida Hamza. She's a Deputy Director, Creative Media and Technology Hub, UITM. I think she will be moderating today. So if you were to see, I have a speech formally written for me as usual. They want to make it so good. But sometimes I just put it aside and I say the press can pick it up later. Because I feel quite free. I mean the press can pick it up and pick it up, no nice things from here. Because there are times there are statistics, there are things that is mentioned by my speechwriter. I should say thank you because they put in work on this. But sometimes I feel nice, I feel great, you know, in the present. Norman, you were with me last night, kan? In the plane. And then, in the plane. In the plane, he sat behind me. And there was another minister, the Minister of Natural Resources. So he was so excited and he said, yeah, ASEAN Film Festival and I got one seat here. Meant for Donnie, that person is called Donnie, right? So I was so excited, I was so okay, I want to take picture with Donnie. Then comes somebody else, I said, where's Donnie? At least I bumped into David. David, where are you, David? David Teo, supposed to do film and using my ministry. He's somewhere. I saw the wife just now. I saw the wife. Yeah, he was taking picture with me downstairs. So what I mean to say is true what Livan mentioned. Now when it's women filmmakers, they really put heart, mind and soul. You believe it or not? You know, and okay, besides just the story or the typical story of women, but actually it's more than that. Now what can, careful, what can be I mean, even though this is a roundhouse, but be careful a bit. I was telling a professor here, I said, this is a place where you like it or not, you bump into each other. Because it's a roundhouse. Yeah, you like it or not. You'll meet again, you know. So I was saying that I'm so happy because they are now getting more and more filmmakers, Ivan. And okay, we are ASEAN. Now we can benchmark with those in Hollywood, in Bollywood. I think we can do as well, you know. So this is what, when we finally have this ASEAN, the full is what? ASEAN International Film Festival here. And for the first award at the end is the ACE award. So for the first time they have side programs, but the word by filmmakers, they don't say side program because that is too classic. So they call it cafe crawl event. You know, when you say side event, it's so classic. So it's correct, eh?
Yes, it's a
cafe crawl.
Yeah.
So we're saying, oh,
we
cafe
cannot use the word pub crawl.
cafe crawl. So it's true, when you get together like this, you can have that tendency to hear views, and from there, from these ideas, you can show it on film. So for me, was definitely, I salute creative women filmmakers from ASEAN. Next is, you know, as the Minister of Women, Family and Community Development is a mouthful. The Minister of Women, Family, Community Development. There are certain things that we do in the ministry, but we cannot get it across. So sometimes it's nice when you see it's in the form of film. So for me, we can get a lot of things through if we can collaborate. Is one of them is awareness. You know, it's a lot of awareness, and this awareness is, you know, when people go and see film, it's cut across all walks of life, ages, and that kind of thing. And if you can disseminate the kind of thing, the messages, because message, when I, as a minister, for instance, through speeches, sometimes I say, the same thing over and over again, you know. I know sometimes people don't have to tell us, we know this. Termasuk my friend from the media, typical, she should be saying that over and over. But if you make it into film, you know, you have the angle that you do as creative film directors is actually very different. You can get message across. Now sometimes we do get ministries to collaborate with us by having, but it's TV lah. Most of it is TV. You know, small messages. Don't go. Financing kind of, you know, institution, don't go to the Along, because Along will damage our family structure, because you know, when they go and hunt you, it's not only hunt the person but also hunt the whole family. So we do this thing that the Peruka call Santai dulu, Lansai, you know, the series on Lansai. So these are messages that we want to pass on to communities. So next is, for example, now coming up very recently in Parliament, in Malaysian Parliament, because these are our counterparts from ASEAN countries, we just came up with bills passed in Parliament very much to protect children in Malaysia. That is bill on sexual crime against children, for instance. But if it is turned into a film series, the acceptance is much faster. Rather than you go around the roadshow, you know, we have this law to protect your children. Please be careful about this. Please be careful about that. The most, after they listen to you for a while, they go back home. When people ask what's the, you know, what's the talk about? Yeah, I'm not so sure what was it about. You know? But if they see film, and this one is, you know, transmitted beautifully in a film, they will leave an impression, they'll remember. So that's the great thing about having it on film, because you see, and the messages pass on inside how you make it in the film. The angle, you know, I mean, this is the words of filmmakers and you in front there, the angle, you know, some of the angle are so boring. People say, you know, you must take this angle, that angle. Yes, correctly said, Livan, 600 million viewers in ASEAN countries. But I was thinking it shouldn't be just in ASEAN countries, it should be more than that. And rightly, the Timpeduka mentioned there was one film. You also mentioned about autism. I was about to come up with an example on autism. I think this is a film called Radar, is it? Radar. You know it because one of my target group for me are these people with learning disabilities, and one of them is autism. Now, beside autism now not bad. The understanding about autism is reaching out to quite a lot of people. Now the awareness is very good. But there's some more hyperactivity, Down syndrome. There's a thing called the big head. There's a thing called small head. Yeah, I'm exposed to all of this, of which I feel awareness is still not there yet amongst people. But the kind of parents that have this kind of children, I tell you, they went through so much. And these are the parents, I do get sentimental because once a while I meet them, I see how the parents try to shower these special children. I told them these are very special children with so much love and patience. And then actually a few months later when I meet some of the professors, they'll be telling me, they said, those kids are no more because their span is so short. But you see what the parents go through, but they still shower the children, because I told them this is God sent, these are special children, not everyone has them. So this is what I meant to say, and normally I can relate this very well, not to say I can relate to the men filmmakers, but I think the women filmmakers, they understand it much more. So this is where I said, while paying tribute to all of you, I think there's so much that can be done. And I'm so happy to be in the company of great ladies like all of you. And it's so much work. But it's hard work. It's really hard work. And you will be coming to me and say, we don't know whether we can sell even this film. You know, it's hard work. It's business, right? And this is the kind of gamble, apostrophe, you all take. It can be the top show, or it can just be forgotten like that. But these are areas that if we can collaborate, I think we can do so much more. I'm so proud to note that now in ASEAN, we have a number of lady directors or filmmakers, and I'm very sure there will be many more. So actually, I look forward to this forum. Welcome to Kuching, because you don't see the whole of Sarawak. And I can invite all of you, you want to do film in my constituency. My constituency, we have plenty of crocodiles to go around. I mean, you want to do show on crocodile, you know. And I have one of the national park, and it's ironic. This national park is so well known to Dutch, especially Dutch government, but not many people in Malaysia knows about my national park. If you Google, I think you'll find it. Maludang, Taman Negara Maludang, and it's very rare now. You have about not many of the proboscis monkey species, and it's there in mine. So we are also cousin. Take care of the constituency. You know this proboscis monkey, and you know sometimes when I get to that Maludang National Park, when I look at the character of this proboscis monkey, oh my goodness, I think the man, you love him. He sits on the top part of the tree. So the second level is all the wives. I presume it's the wife. So she goes around picking the berries and the leaves and so on for him. And the next level are all the kids running around, you see. So he's be there so majestic, and I said, you must have a lot of secret that I think the men don't mind to learn so much from you. Yeah, but it's very rare because this monkey doesn't really openly come out, but it's very rare. So these are the flora and fauna that also can be taken as location of film industry. It opens up, a lot of location that is still very fresh. And I welcome all of you to come to my constituency. I'm not joking about the crocodile. The crocodile in my place is normal National Geographic standard. For 1 kilometer of river, maybe the most is about 7 crocodiles. That is National Geographic. But if you come to my area called Batang Lupa, a kilometer of river in Batang Lupa has 70 crocodiles. 70. Yeah, and we even have an island specifically for this crocodile to hatch. And they really guard that island. The island is called Pulau Seduku. They really guard that island. And even that island is very peculiar, because half of the island is inhabited by crocodiles, but half of it is inhabited by people. And I do even see with my own eyes when it's school break, 10 o'clock, school break. So when the bell rings, now before the bell rings, the crocodile would be basking in the sun, you know, at the school field. So when the break, 10 o'clock break, the bell rings, the crocodile goes nicely into the river and the kids play. That's because they already how to say, what is the word? Yeah, cohabited. And I think they even can smell, this is our friend. From outside the island, they'll say, oh, this is not our friend, be very careful. And I do tell my officers that follow me in the boat, never put your hand outside the boat. Leave it in the boat. You know, sometimes you hold the side of the boat, right? I said, because you might reach and you see no fingers. I mean, it's a bit, but this is really, because you imagine 1 kilometer is 70 crocodiles and they're still hatching. But these are the special things about my constituency. And they said, what else? Well, it's for you to explore. So thank you so much. And I really look forward also to this forum. And welcome once again to Kuching. And later on, maybe once you like it, to the rest of Sarawak, also to my constituency. And I think this is an occasion that we really look forward to. And maybe there'll be more and more, you know, filmmakers, because today the topic is women, yeah, filmmakers. And I look forward, and as I mentioned, there are many things, real life kind of stories that it can be, you know, transformed into a film and becomes a lot of messages, a lot of things that we can learn from it that is imparted very well through film. But when we get to pass this message through speeches, it doesn't really get on well down there. But if film is there, and especially if you get box office. So I'm very confident that the lady filmmakers, and actually all the filmmakers, you do have creative ideas. David, you're there, standing up right here. I didn't see you just now. Behind there, right? I saw your wife, definitely. I must sit next to your wife. Yeah. So thank you so much. And I know you have very good deliberation during this IFA 2017. And the award will be announced tomorrow night at the gala dinner. So while here, enjoy yourself as well. And this is where the bonding, you know, the networking becomes very useful. And I think from here you get a lot of ideas, because filmmakers is normally ideas. So all the best to you, and I really look forward to meeting you again in our next occasion. Many more to come. So thank you so much, and have a good celebration in this forum. Thank you so much.
And the award for Best Actress goes to...
Okay, so hi everyone. Thank you for coming to this session. Dr. Sri Ivan. Okay, this is indeed, I'm truly blessed. I feel truly blessed. And I'm sure all of you feel the same. And in this circular motion of this building, I feel a kind of the power of woman partly at the moment. So, as when I arrived in Kuching from the airport, I see this tagline saying that "Welcome to the City of Unity." It is this tagline. That's wonderful because today we are basically celebrating the unison of the women filmmakers in the ASEAN region. Can we give a round of applause, please? And I remember that Catwoman has 9 lives, so remember that side of the power. Okay. So today we pay tribute to women. I specifically written this, so I will read it. We pay tribute to women as a source of majesty and beauty, and the compassionate being that makes the world go round. That's how I feel our communities are. So, the topic today is the rise of the ASEAN filmmakers. I feel that all of us have risen to a certain extent in your own capability as directors, producers, writers, yeah. And it is an amazing feat together. And I see the rise as it's present tense. It's still rising. And in that rise, and in that rising, there's the falling. So this session, I will be a lecturer myself. I will divide it into 3 sections. Sorry. So first, before even the filmmakers widening the awareness of social issues, especially those impacting women, I would like to know what has inspired them, and what is still inspiring them now to actually fight for the rights of women, or showcase or liberate certain factors of that. That will be my first area of discussion. Shall we proceed with Dr. Patrick? Please, because that will impact the film.
Hello everybody, I'm really honored to be here. I'm glad to meet filmmakers, women filmmakers, and of course, if any of you have seen Pasir Berbise, I don't have to say much, and I'm glad that I met her finally. Can you hear me? Echoing, okay. I can't really pinpoint what really inspired me, but it's the exposure, the experience, studying, living outside the country, studying here. And my first film would tell what inspired me was at the height of religious extremism at that point in time as a student. That affected me when I saw friends leaving their scholarship, leaving their studies. I was with my friends in Australia, in UK, and they left their studies because they believed that they would serve their religion better if they leave their studies and not be qualified. They would serve their husband better that way. So that affected me at the time that I was studying film. And then also that I met friends who had served during the Palestinian war. They served as voluntary doctors in refugee camps in the Middle East, and they too affected me with their stories, what they shared in the looking after displaced children because of war. So that was my first film. When I did Selubong, it was because of that. These things affected me as a human being, as a person, as a filmmaker. So that became my story. But the funny thing about it is that when I made that film, I learned about what being filmmaking was in my own country when one reporter took me aside and told me, why ever did you make a film like that? Who wants to see a film like that? And that really shocked me. And I didn't know what to say. I said, why? No, nobody wants to see a film about people suffering in war, children, suffering because of war. Nobody wants to see a film like that. And that really, I don't know, I was shocked. At first, filmmaker, and I just looked around and said, what? So what am I supposed to do as a filmmaker? What kind of films people want to see? They say, no, you must make films about people who are involved in prostitution and stuff like that. So you learn about what people want to see, and I said, okay, I'll think about it. So then, of course, you also have to live by the fact that if you are a filmmaker, you have to live by the rules of your investors, your financier, right? And that, again, it was lesson learned, and I couldn't get my story financed. And I had to go around looking for what stories do you want to see. The kind of stories that you want to do as a filmmaker may not necessarily be the kind of film that your investors or your financiers want to finance. So these are things that you learn as you go along. What inspire you will be friends, people who are filmmakers themselves, the difficulty, the kind of stories that they want to do. These are the things that continue to inspire you.
Thank you very much. Can you on, Nelly? Can we go to Nana, please? What inspired you to become a filmmaker? Produce such beautiful films such as Possible BC is one of the most beautiful films ever.
Thank you so much. I guess it's more on who you are. I was born in Singapore and I grew up in KL. My dad was the first Malay filmmaker in Southeast Asia, and that colors you as a filmmaker. And then, and my father was the kind of person who thought that history should be retold in the point of view of a feminist. So, it definitely colors you. And what inspires me is actually the stories that concerns me. So like Pasal Bindifik is my response towards the patriarchal society. And it's also about the political dimensions in Indonesia, what happened in the 60s, and the repetition of trauma as well. So it's me being myself in the geopolitical boundaries of being an Indonesian, being a member of ASEAN, being a universal filmmaker. So when I say, I think like forums like this, it should be redefined. It's like filmmakers who happen to be women, because the medium itself is a neutral. It's not gender sensitive, because a filmmaker is a filmmaker. So you happen to be a gay filmmaker, you happen to be a woman filmmaker. It's just what you produce and what you say and what you think is important to say, and that is, I think, the main point of how you form your narrative and how you want your audience to feel or to react towards the film. So like my next film is about a man, it's about a dalang, and then how he reacts. So sometimes when I'm a woman filmmaker, and I'm always pressured to make films only about women, which I think is sexist as well. Why should I limit myself in making films about women when it should be just about anything? Thank you.
Thank you, Nan. And Manny, what inspired you to create such supernatural films with characters that can predict lottery ticket number?
Well, the lottery thing is a real thing in my country, and this is part of the reason why I decided to do a film with lottery ghosts, is because honestly, my inspirations come from many things. I'm not a filmmaker. I was a ballet dancer before. So all my films are rooted in my former art, which is ballet. And that is what is a driving force behind how I direct. But the reality is I'm inspired to make films because I'm sick of foreigners and white people telling me what is authentic in my country. No, I'm dead serious. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of people at the festivals informing me what a real Southeast Asian film should be. They're not Southeast Asian. How can they tell me what is Southeast Asian? So I'm gonna make a film about the lottery ghost because we really believe that ghosts bring you lottery numbers. You know, I mean, like, come on. I'm not gonna make the ring ghost. That's not Lao. I'm not gonna make the grudge ghost. That's not Lao. I'm not gonna make the whatever jump scare ghost from America. That's not Lao. And so my goal and my inspiration is to do something Lao and put it on screen according to what my experiences and my perspectives are in Lao. They might be a bit biased, but they're Lao, and they're not imitating Thailand, they're not imitating Japan, they're not imitating America, it's just Lao. And I'm just sick of white people who want to see poverty porn, basically.
Thank you, Mary. Truly inspiring. Boris. And one of the most interesting factor about women filmmakers of the ASEAN region is that they involve themselves in martial arts, though with those tendencies. So, Siti, tell us something about what inspired you?
Oh, first of all, I want to make it clear, I made the film not as a woman, but as a filmmaker. Okay, because I'm frankly a little tired of being labeled. Thank you. And it's because I think we just come from a different generation anyway. I never had to fight that battle of this gender bias. It was never a question if you wanted to be a pilot or a film director and you're a woman. Of course you can do it. Nobody's going to say no. So yeah, I'm quite tired of being labeled about that. But anyway, I just wanted to, I love martial arts, big fan of action, grew up on Bruce Lee, sort of drinking Coca-Cola, eating kacang and watching Bruce Lee films growing up. So I love martial art, and why I chose Silat in particular was because it's a Malay form of martial art, but it's actually not very popular anymore. And in Brunei, specifically, even I see the big competition, not many sponsors. It's just, now everybody's on Instagram, Twitter, and it's just not cool. So I wanted to share with the world this martial art that I love. But also I touched on the topic. For me, Yasmin is very much a coming-of-age film, and it's very much a father-daughter story. And it's core values which are very important to us in Brunei. So that's why I chose Yasmin.
Okay, we actually promoted your film at UITM, and I think about 2,000 people bought the tickets. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. I wasn't there. I think David, my producer, he's there. He probably went, yeah.
Yes, he did. Manny, if you need to promote your film, just contact me here. We do it for charity, and some parts of it we channel for students in the tabung for their activities. And Mary Lee, come to Mary Lee, that made her film debut at the age of 18, and basically started in Dynamite Johnson's what's that? Taekwondo, and it's also known to be the sister to Bruce Lee.
Nice to meet you.
Tell me, Mary Lee, what inspired you to become?
Okay, I'm a little bit wrong with this, so bear with me. Yeah, I mean, it's funny you should mention Bruce Lee. I was born Doris Young. Okay. But when I got the role of as an actress, my producer director told me, your name Doris Young is not glamorous. You must be a lead. I said, so why a lead? Because of Bruce Lee. I mean, he's so big then, It was back in like 1977. That's how I became a lead. So I start in a series of right up to 2003 when Quentin Tarantino did an interview, and he said he's a big fan of Michael Wong, and that he had taken a lot of inspiration from the Michael Wong career. And suddenly the world over wants to know who the hell is Natasha Wong, you know. So I had like a second burst of glory, and I was invited to many countries to present like a 40-year-old film. And then my producer director, the previous one, looked at me and he said, Marie, let's do a reboot of Natasha Wong. And I said, fine. I said, but probably 20 over years too late at that time. And I said, let's look for a brand new star and let's do it. But Bobby never made it. So in the year 2010, like a massive heart attack. And I kind of inherited, acquired the IP rights of Natasha Wong and took over his bucket list. So if there's anyone who did the reboot, you have to be me. But I was an actress. I know what it's like in front of the camera. I know nothing about behind the camera. So I waited a few years and nothing happened, and I knew it was going to work. So I formed a hobby group called Real Friends, Real is R-E-E-F. And we started making shots. After making the first shot before Kodak, I had minor stroke. I was hospitalized. And discharged 10 days later, we had to 4 days with a different thing, but I thought it was a second stroke because half of this went like that. And I was terrified. I said, oh no, I'm going to die this time. I'm certified dead. And incidentally, that is the name of my piece of work. So I started writing the script for Certified Dead. And when I came out, I continued to make short films. So today, I made 15 short films. The first feature, which followed the industry.
For reading that part of your life. So we just basically ended the first wave of our sharing session with filmmakers. And we know what truly inspired them, their friends, their surroundings, the economic system, the political system, and knowing who they are. They are basically filmmakers, they're not women filmmakers, they are filmmakers. Where they come surpasses everything else, and fighting for their lives. Truly amazing feats, like I have mentioned earlier. So our second session, our second wave will be to showcase how the knowledge of filmmaking has impacted what we need to raise about women. The important things about women that the world to know. Dato' Badu.
I guess we can go by, for me, as some of us have shared just now, we don't have to have stories just about women. So my last film is actually about the lead character in the story is male. And I guess it's about the values. The story is important to you. What attracts you will always be the story, will always be the main character in the story, the axis of the story. These are the things that's important to me. And from that story, I would move on, and after my last film, like my next film, the story, the lead character, I go back to a woman, because I think there are certain values that is important to us, and if the story touches you, that will be the story that you want to do next. And I was reading stories about the admiral from Aceh. It's a woman admiral, and no one knew about this character, And then there's this princess from the old Malay Empire in the 18th century, and she was the most powerful person during that empire, the time of that empire in the 18th century. People didn't know about it. People didn't know that she actually held power, protecting the throne, making sure that the right ruler sits on the throne. So these were things that attracted me. And it was such a big, enormous responsibility on her, and yet not much was written You know, and then you'll be wondering why is it not much is written on this person? And in the annals, in the European annals, it's written down the most powerful women in history. And there was this character from the Malay history, and no one knew about it. So I started digging, and then the interest got going, you know, and that's how you kind of, then the story starts unfolding. What happened to her, where did she come from, and her father was this like really big character called Raja Haji, Panglima Agung Fisabilillah. So you know, it's like, why is it like not much is written on this? So it started, it makes you really curious, and then that becomes the story. Who this woman is, where is she from, and why, how is it that she could hold this empire together? And then of course, no wonder, because she's so powerful, you'll have the men conspiring, wanting to bring her down, wanting to kill her. So then the story starts unfolding, and that's how, I guess, it's about bravery, it's about leadership, it's about how one person can inspire a whole nation, a whole empire. So that, of course, is a story worth doing for.
Fun here. Truly breathtaking. Thank you very good for sharing that part of the impact on your films. You look at, for instance, on Nan Agnas. You basically concentrated on just passive, the sand. How did you make that so impactful? And when you watch passive music, it's so impactful. And you are being surrounded by the sand and nature for that matter. How?
Most of the film starts from one single image, and I did a documentary about Bromo, that's the location where I shot, before I wrote the story about passive music. And it was an image about a woman looking at her daughter. So from that one single frame, and then the story evolved. And I think it's also because I'm surrounded with strong women. My father was from Minangkabau, so I had really fierce aunties, very strong. They make great line producers, because like who make his films, and my mother was the one who kept the family strong. So because of this very strong women, and I make stories about strong women. Nothing angers me or more than watching a film about stupid women, because I haven't met any stupid women. So it's just how I grew up. So when you say what inspires me in terms of the women's character, it's the women that I know. And even in the Indonesian film industry, it is the start of the new Indonesian cinema. It started with women. So there's so many women producers, line producers, writers, as well as directors. So it is the generosity of spirit that is shared among us. And then we just share information. Even that alone is very important. Just to support one another. And this is, I think, very important for the industry, that support. And if you're talking about a new industry, it's not to say my film's got 1 million tickets sold, and the other one like only 10,000. It should be a shared community of ideas, a shared community of infrastructure and support that will build an industry. And this is very much so in Indonesia.
See. Okay. So basically it boils back down to basically Mother Nature, if I may say that. That's why the celebration of the sand and the unison of Sand,
about the
ancient
sand.
ants. Yeah.
Just a note that if you go to Bromo now, and then the people there will show you a place where the sand whispers. It's a translation of Pacific British Whispering Sand. And what is interesting that nobody knew that the word Pasir Berbisik or Whispering Sand comes from the film. So if you go there, you want to go to Gunung Pasir Berbisik instead. It's because of the film.
I thought should make a visit there. Bring us all. Thank you, Lebron. I love you. I've seen some of the trailers for many films. So I have not seen the whole film, but I've seen it. And there are lots of contradictory elements. Do you feel that by contradiction you have impacted the role of women in the film?
I think I'm not trying to change the problems. There are problems in our society. I'm not saying only in Laos. There are issues among women, but who the hell am I to say I have the answer? I'm not going to make a film where I'm like, this is the answer, this is the solution, stop abusing your women, or women, stop prostituting yourselves. How can I do that? It's like all I can do is put the problem on screen, address it, and it's up to the society to figure it out themselves, you know? I think it's arrogant to try and say I have some kind of answer, and the problems can be contradictory because we have class issues, we have issues among both men and women, we have issues amongst our children, but a lot of the problems that are apparent have been developing for generations, for more than decades. We've had problems deep-rooted in our culture and societies, so it's not like I can make one film that's just like, ding, magic, problem gone, you know, of course there will be contradictions in my films. And, you know, back to the role of strong women and stories we should be doing, I think that the goal and the priority for all of us as filmmakers should be to make a good story, a strong story, instead of just trying to beat people over the freaking head about our issue or whatever. I think that if you have something to say and you have a good story, it will come out organically and naturally, you know, and I don't think people should be forced to make stories that they don't want to make. If you want to make a freaking action movie, make one. If I want to make ghost films, I'm going to make a ghost film, you know, like, it's fine. I don't even mind. You want to make poverty porn, go for it. Go to the A-list festival. But I just think that we as filmmakers should have the freedom and the right to make the story that is meaningful to us.
I've read in one piece, can't remember who wrote it, but you said that you're an accidental filmmaker.
Yes, I am.
For one accidental filmmaker, it's one hell of an accident.
No, a lot of filmmaking is just like crazy luck, you guys. I think I'm crazy lucky, and I thank my lucky stars every day that I can be here. I mean, thank you to my executive producer and his wife, who are sitting here, Anusan and Ulay, for believing in me. There's no reason that these two crazy people should believe that I can make a film. And somehow I accidentally made one film, and then I ended up making another, and another is coming. It's like really crazy luck. I feel very fortunate.
Thank you, Mandy. All the best. And Siti, back to you. Any new projects coming in apart from Mentari?
Yes, I'm actually writing my new feature, and no, my protagonist is actually a man. It's also a period piece, and it's, I can't really talk about it because we haven't made any announcement, and one of my producers will kill me.
Yeah, I'm actually jumping the gun.
But your sort of question earlier, the impact of the film on raising awareness of women issues. So interesting because Brunei is not a film nation, and we don't produce many films. So and there's not a lot of content coming from Brunei, which means that the whole world doesn't know what Brunei looks like, what we sound like, but basically you guys don't know anything about Brunei. And didn't, like I said, I made a film as a filmmaker, not as a woman. But what was surprising was when I chose Yasmin, and she's a girl, and she's doing action. And sort of, if you see at the beginning of the film, the father was really against it. And you know, Brunei, we are an Islamic state. And when I travel with the film, especially to the Western, they were like surprised also, because at the beginning they will think that, oh, because she's a Muslim girl, and then she's not allowed to fight. And I'm like, and then they were surprised actually with the story, and oh, that's not the reason, it's because of a dad. Sorry, I just gave you a spoiler if you haven't seen it. But so that was also like quite an eye-opener for me, in a way that actually, you know, Brunei's not like that. We are a country also with lots and lots of really strong, independent women. So if you were caught in the rush hour ever in Brunei, and you're driving and stuck in traffic, you see, women, they're all like driving to work, you know, they are like driving nice cars, and I mean, we're a nation of strong women. So, of course, coming from Brunei, I don't experience this gender bias, and I was shocked by this. Sort of a little sick of being labeled, because we don't really have to fight for our rights, because I don't come across this issue. But the impact is good, that people know that, okay, we're not like that. In fact, our first Silat champion for combat, because you know you have different types of competition, but for combat, gold medalist is a woman. So it was never an issue for me. So I guess it's just to show maybe the impact will be just on what Brunei is really like, and how tolerant we really are actually as a people and as a nation.
Thank you, Siti. We should all go to Brunei again, Liban.
Yeah, you gotta come to Brunei. It's a great
I
place.
had tempted to Liban because she forced me to moderate. Okay. Mary, you seem like a very calm person, but the fact that you are involved in films about Taekwondo and women crime fighting, can you explain how that is impacting? How do you feel that's impacting the mass of the women out there? Why? The women out there.
Actually, there are not that many female. So, Cleopatra Wong was a film that it surprised even me. I remember when I was making the film, when we were watching the Russians, when we were watching the film the first time, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, I remember because I was even ashamed, and I thought that I could do better, I could act better. I was like, what do you term a director's actress, the first film. I was typically naive, you know. I dare not admit, I dare not do it. Can you imagine the first day of shoot? I stood there with a gun, holding it. So when they want to shoot the camera, I was still holding it. Until someone came, hey Marie, you're very hardworking. I said, well, why don't you rest? I said, I rest. You know, at 17, I was typically very, very nervous. I was very scared. I was alone in the Philippines, you know, I was an orphan, I don't have any parents. But now looking back, I was actually amazed how I fight from the start to the end, you know. And I mean, I really would like to make another film like that. Full action and all, but I know I'm not really to do that. And when I did 75 Days, I really struggled with finishing because I raised money through crowdfunding, through corporate sponsorship, and through a lot of piggy banks program. So we shot our film with a hobbyist group, real friends. No one gets paid. Everyone gets fed. Okay. We shot this film over 43 days. Over 7 months of weekend and weekdays. Continuity was the worst issue. But made it. So now, like, after doing 15 shots and the first picture, Real Friends actually has turned to say, okay, it's time to come back to society. So we decided to adopt a charity. And there's this organization called Filmmakers. It is a Buddhist organization, but they have a school for the mentally challenged. They have a hospice. They have an old folks home, hospital. So we are hoping to partner with a club who will finance our food. We have our own equipment, so we will do films for them free of charge to help them spread awareness. So this is what we are doing for.
Can we give Mary Lee a round of applause for such a worthy cause, keeping film at the forefront? Before we go to the third dimension, which is the last way, can we open to the public, I mean the guests, if you have any kind of query for our filmmakers, anything at all?
Any questions? You raise your hand and then pass the mic. You want to ask?
I just want to say that it's amazing, all you women film directors here. I know that you don't want to differentiate yourself from a male, but it does come across in your work. I think that women film directors have a certain sensitivity that is so apparent, and the way they portray the characters, especially the women characters, and I just wanted to ask this question. I mean, I know you said in your film that you don't really have that in your mind when you make a film or story.
Don't think about it.
You don't think about it.
I just do it. I don't have time to do anything else.
No, I mean, in terms of the story, like, I mean, would you, for instance, prefer to have a female protagonist?
Currently I'm working on a male protagonist. I'm equally having fun with it. And then, so when I talk to my friends who are men, and they're like, you know, just one thing you need to remember, men don't think. And I'm like, okay. So, that's coming from a man. And I was like, yeah, maybe I think too much. So,
yeah, I mean, there's always a difference with a male and a female. So I also want to say that I love Possible Mistake. One of my favorite films. That's just amazing. One last question to Datin Paduka Shahini. So what about you honestly, like when you are doing a story, I know you say that financing is always an issue, like you'd like to do the story but you can't get financing for that story, you might change it. But in your heart, I mean, do you feel that as a woman that you'd like to make films that will you know, portray strong women or women that have contributed in our society that people don't see that?
I think it's true that you don't. Women filmmaker or man filmmaker, you are a filmmaker, and if you go beyond that, like you don't really think that you're an ASEAN filmmaker, or you know, you just, when you are making film, it's a whole new, it's a different world totally. You're talking about the guys will come and help you, and they will look at you as a director. They will give you that respect. In my team, most of the key people, the tough people, my cinematographer, they all work with you and they look at you as a director, not as a woman director, right? So we share that, and it's a world that the filmmakers understand. You walk onto a set and you know that these are the film people and they think in that same wavelength. But after that, beyond that, as a director, I want to have bring up issues, stories that affect me and the society around me, the people around me. And my protagonists have always been women because I understand the character better. Because I write, and so when I write about something that is close to me and I understand it. So when I change my the story, and I started, someone said, okay, come on, give us male guys lead part in your story. So I said, okay, so I was developing the story and I wrote, and was for the first time I gave two important characters, male characters. It was male driven. The heroes were male. And that film got banned. It became sensitive for different reasons, and I'm just like, oh my God, what have I done? It became politicized, and people went to the streets and said that the film got taken off, it should not be shown. And I just stood there and I saw my film being taken off the screen. It's not even screening time, and we lost a lot of money because of that, a lot of time. But the fact is that I said that, okay, I go back to women, male lead characters, you know. But things like this are things that you just cannot foresee. And when you're doing it, is your heart and your mind is in that story. It's not because it's male driven or female driven. I think all of us are affected that way when we make a movie. I did a short film for International Women's Day, and it is based on a Mak dancer who would have to stop dancing because in the state of Kelantan, they're not allowed to dance anymore. And so it was just a short film, but even that became sensitive because, you're putting down the state government of Kelantan. And it wasn't, because I know a dancer, a Mak Yong dancer, who had to give up dancing because it's not allowed, and she had to turn to rubber tapping. And when I went to visit her, she was tapping rubber, and the place was full of leeches. And from the leeches falling from the tree, from the rubber tree, so she was wearing a hat, and it would fall on her head. And she had to take care of her family because she cannot dance, no more income, so she had to go to tapping rubber. And it affected me because she was a beautiful dancer. She's a beautiful classical Mak Yong dancer. She stopped dancing. Yeah? So that story I wrote for her, and I could do it for Women's International Day, so I did the film. It was actually for her, and I hope one day that the state government will allow that dance to be performed, because for me, it's a beautiful dance, and this woman is extraordinary performer. Yeah? Yeah, she even performed in Paris. Because of her, we got the status of heritage, World Heritage status. Yeah. And then the dance band. So that affected me. And when I wrote, it's because of that. It was for her. And I feel really sad to see that. And she sometimes, so you can just imagine, sometimes in the morning, because she cannot dance anymore, before she goes to tap rubber, she will sing alone and at the veranda of her house. When you tap rubber, you got to go when it's still dark. So you just imagine her singing so that she can still feel the dance. So these are the kind of stories that I would do, because people, to try and get people to understand that the beauty of the dance is not just about the dance itself, but the people, the community love the dance. They can sit there day and night to watch this dance. So it is a pity that it's gone, but these are things that I would spend time working on if I'm able to. It's like wanting to do a movie on autistic children is because my sister has got a dyslexic kid, and it was difficult for her to get education for her daughter because there's no special school here. So things like that affect you, and you want to do stories like that because life around you needs to be shared. People's difficulties, people's suffering needs to be shared so that the rest of us understand it. And that's how I look at film, that we share and we bring people together with the film.
Thank you, Dr. Shi. Oh, there's another question, please.
Thank you. First of all, for the Film Festival for hosting this. This is quite a remarkable panel. And I think the information we've gleaned from today is enlightening. I have a question. So I teach film in Indonesia. I'm very honored to do that. And my female filmmaking students are among the most intelligent and the most, I would say, they take the greatest risks. So when I'm teaching my film studies class, we dive into feminist studies and we discuss the aspect of filmmaking. And in feminist studies, when you're looking at films, they're concerned with how women are portrayed on screen, jobs in the industry, and then exhibition. Are women able to show their films to the right audiences? So I would just like to ask, because this is such a rare opportunity to have such a distinct panel, which of those three, or is there an additional one, that you think probably has the most relevance in your personal work?
I think exhibition is a problem for everyone, and in this case, male and female, because the distribution channels right now are changing really rapidly. Theatrical is basically a loss now, and VOD is starting to become a very viable option for people. But as for whether they're male or female, I think it's a struggle for everyone. I feel very fortunate, actually. Again, lucky, lucky. This American sales company called XYZ, one of the founders named Todd Brown discovered me, basically, as a filmmaker. And so I've been very lucky because I think that one of the ways to be seen is to have a sales agent who's very good at contacting distributors and who can get you out in the festivals. And I do know that a lot of festivals now are looking for films revolving around females, regardless of whether they're helming the film as a director or it's a female story. So there are paths opening. But as for jobs, I think it depends on the country. For instance, in Brunei, it's not an issue. It's not an issue at all. In Laos, the issue isn't so much that I'm a woman. It's more, we just don't have films like Brunei. They're just not there. The industry is teeny tiny. And again, right, exactly, what industry? I think in the West there are a lot of issues, and you see it. There are trust issues in the West. You see that a lot of people don't trust women in key positions because of some stereotype that might have been harbored from an old point of view. Like, oh, women can't be trusted, women are emotional. And so that is real for your students to know, especially if they want to work in the West. But we in ASEAN are helming an entirely new film movement. And I think that your students should be extremely proud to be a part of that. Because here in ASEAN, we don't have people stopping us. Because film here we have a rich culture of older films that have been helmed by women. We have places like Brunei and Laos and Malaysia that are like rising up and just completely pioneering and forging a new path. So I think that, sorry. If I can make a film with no film background and no film training and no university education, your students should consider themselves lucky to have a teacher like you, and they should push forward to make films and not let anyone stop them, because I can make it. It's like, I'm not just saying that to sound like shitty and sets us apart. Like, we're women, but we have untold stories. People are sick of Transformers 8,
On a Malaysian perspective, Malaysian filmmakers have fought for something that has stayed on for now. It's called the Scheme Wajib Tayang. It's a must-show agreement with the government that all cinemas must show local film. And this we fought for. It was for several years before we could get the government and the cinemas to agree to that. So there is the scheme where every film has a chance to go on the screen for a minimum of 1 week. And the producers have a right the number for your films to be shown. So this is ongoing, and we are very lucky that we are still holding on to that. In fact, Malaysia at the moment is the only country that has that arrangement in Southeast Asia, in ASEAN, where filmmakers have a chance to have their films screened. So that's now not an issue. The issue, I love Hollywood films. The fact that they're taking away a big chunk of the audience because of their powerful marketing and promotional tools and budget. So when there's a big box office blockbuster coming up from Hollywood, will die most of the time. Local films will suffer. But once in a while, there will be Malaysian film that can beat the box office collection of Hollywood films. We've seen that before. So really, what you are asking is that for Malaysia, opportunities for your film to be screened is not an issue now. It is the power to fight the marketing done by Hollywood, because that is a powerful marketing that is hard to beat, and we suffer every time there's a blockbuster coming out. The other thing is that for young filmmakers, they have a chance to go for development grant because the grants are there. That too, we fought for that, and now the government has given us grant for script development, which is something that is a big issue that we need. We need good stories, we need good scripts. That is the vacuum that we have to fill up. I think in terms of filmmakers, we have a good crop of filmmakers, young directors coming out, even the experienced directors, we have them. What we don't have now, the strong stories, the strong scripts that we don't have. So that is a major challenge for Asian filmmakers.
Okay, before we go further, Lisa Dino is here. My Malaysian, she's just arrived today from the Philippines. Now, Lisa is the CEO of the Philippines Film Development Council. She will say a few words. Yeah, have a seat here.
Thank you. Good afternoon, my name is Ina Segura. I am the chairperson of the Film Development Council of the Philippines. I'd like to apologize, you just arrived and went straight here. I just want to thank IFA for giving importance to our films. We have 9 Filipino films right now in the lineup, and for the last 3 years, we've been very grateful for the opportunity and the platform that IFA has been giving us, our Filipino filmmakers, to share our stories to our ASEAN neighbors. So thank you so much, and I hope you guys have been enjoying the films. And yeah, we're very happy and very privileged to be here. It's actually my first time here. But my very first time in Kuching was in 2001. I was for Miss Tourism International, and one of the places that we went to was here in Kuching. So just driving, going here, and seeing how much it has improved is such an experience for me. It's like it brought me back to those memories, because the very first country I've been to from the Philippines was Malaysia. So it's very memorable for me.
Thank you, Angelina. Thank you very much. And Lisa is actually the founding independent movement, founder of the independent movement in Philippines, right?
Not really founded. I was a mainstream. I started with stage, and I went into mainstream, and then in 2005, when all of these independent film festivals started to crop up again, I was one of the actresses who was part of Cinemalaya, and we're very proud that after 13 years, I would say that the independent cinema and the Philippine cinema has evolved, and they say that we're coming into the 3rd golden age of Philippine cinema in the Philippines, and we're just proud because we are approaching our centennial year. It's going to be the 100 years of Philippine cinema this year.
Can you care to share with us, in the name of the mother, how it has basically impacted the women filmmakers in Philippines?
In the Name of the Mother was my film in 2013. It's a story of this young girl, of this young prodigy. She's a flamenco dancer who's very ambitious, is going for her dreams. And in the course of it, she got pregnant. Her dream, and it came with consequences. She lost the baby. And it really sparked a lot of debates among audiences on women's choice. the battle and the question, the debate between choosing the right of a woman to choose her path and conditions that surrounds it. I guess right now in the Philippines, we've become and we have embraced being a matriarchal society, and right now women's choice and there are a lot of empowerment happening, especially with the Philippines and the government giving importance to gender development. I would say that we have come a long way from those times when Filipinas are depicted as very submissive and reserved and conservative. A freedom of expression that allows us to just really embrace our womanhood, our femininity, and celebrate it. So it was very interesting to listen to how the audience responded to the film In Nomine Matris, because in the name of the mother, because there is that movement now, the Catholic country.
Lisa, and for the benefit of the audience, Lisa won Best Actress in the International Film Fest in Manhattan, New York, for that role in Nomine Matris. Let's give her a round of applause. Yeah. And also, Lisa, we are actually on our third wave. The first wave was how the filmmakers were inspired. Second, how that inspiration has impacted their filmmaking and how they've created a world of themselves in that in touch with the audience. And the third would be the final round, and how do you perceive the future for women filmmakers? Can we have Nan, please? What's your future project, or how do you perceive the future to be for women filmmakers?
Okay, sorry, I was zoning out.
Yeah, a little bit, me too.
Zoning out from an idea, I can say that.
Yeah.
Okay, my future films, I have so many. It's just the beauty of filmmaking. Like, you have like 10 projects, or you've written like 3 or 5 projects, and you hope like one of them will go ahead and be produced. But right now, I'm writing 3 films simultaneously, and one is a period piece that has to do with Indonesia 1960s, the communist coup, and then another one is a film called Barala, which is about, Barala is the Minang word for wedding, and another one is, it's still secret, I'm not supposed to say it.
Yeah, this is the lot.
That might come in. So it's like, that's what I think what a filmmaker should do, is actually you have a lot of projects in mind, and you, like a filmmaker, I think we're in a very good position where, well, actually I speak for myself, I'm sorry, is that my work is my hobby. So it's just, I'm enjoying writing, thinking, zoning out, and stuff like that. So it's a position where my neighbor who works 9 to 5 is so amazed and says, how can you afford to live freelancing? But filmmaking is like this. I have a production company, but the production company depends on the production. So the ability to dream is very important, I think, for a filmmaker, and that takes time, and that takes space. Sorry, I was dreaming this now.
Thank you. Yes, please continue that dream.
Same, I'm always zoning out and dreaming about new ideas and stories. But future projects, as soon as I go back home, I'm sort of putting together 5 short films. I'm mentoring 5 young filmmakers from Brunei. It's a crazy timeline, but it's about some story revolving about Ramadan in Brunei, so it'll be quite interesting, and we're really looking forward to it. I'm also working on my feature, writing that, and I know I can't talk about it, but I have something really exciting. So we are coming from a non-film nation, so I'm sort of opening a film school in Brunei. So this is really, I'm so excited to start. I've been traveling sort of non-stop and just sort of meeting a lot of, going to many film schools, Japan, and even Malaysia, Indonesia, just around the region, and I go to just see what everybody are doing, and meeting as much people as I can, because it's really like, it's new for me. I'm not a product of film school. I actually went to the school of chemistry, guys. So I'm really a scientist by trade, and and my dad's like, "What's happening? She's a filmmaker now. What's going on?" But you're right. We don't have a 9-to-5 job. Sometimes I look at my social media accounts, right? I don't look like I have a job. Yeah, I look at my traveling, and then horse riding. What is she dipping? But we need the space, and we're always sort of like zoning out, and then we write, or we're on set. That's it. Yeah.
Thank you, Siti. And Mary, are there some more of those continuing?
Well, definitely, because my next project would be an action omnibus. And I always have a lot of people, a lot of cast in the film. And after that, we'll try to approach the big one that is the reboot of the Panama. I need to experience the thing. But, in my hobbies group, Real Friends, we have 500 members now. And 80% are men. Only 20% are women. And but what we do mainly will be, jobs like everything that's from everything, because women has got more view than guys, And I wish there were more women who would step up in the top roles, directors, producers, and all that. I'm trying to start a Singapore chapter of women in films, so that is one thing that I hope will happen. Negotiate probably with IMDA for some grants for women. And we have also started Women Film Festival. It's not a big one, it's not like what I said earlier, there are 5,000 women festivals in film period. Ours is called Million, which means women in banking. So we are on our third quarter. The first 2 quarters has been okay. We have like 60 over films, submission, and we choose the best of each region, like North, South America, Europe, Asia, Oceania, and Africa. So hopefully at the end of the 4 quarters, we will have a live screening. So this is our first year. We are trying to realize the festival, and then we have further festivals. Muren, we also need the team Muren. That means the protagonists or the film is a new team or a director or a DP and all that. So we're working towards that.
Congratulations, and very enterprising. And Mary.
Well, you mentioned the future of film for women, and my hope for the future of film for women is that we can just be filmmakers. That it's not, oh, you're a female filmmaker, or you're a male filmmaker, or you're a gay or a lady boy filmmaker. You're just a filmmaker. For God's sake, can't you just be a filmmaker or a director or a producer? Why do we have to put this gender in front of it? That's my goal and my hope for the future of filmmaking, is that we can just be, I'm just a director, and you don't look at my name and you say she's female or anything, because there are a lot of issues where sometimes male colleagues will be like, oh, people are interested in you because you're the only woman making films in the country, and I'm just like, go screw yourself, make a film and let's see how many people are interested in you. I live in Laos, nothing's stopping them from becoming a woman either. It's kind of known for that. My future projects, I'm right now in pre-production for a science fiction film that takes place in rural Laos.
It's the one that we got the funding from
Yes,
IPA?
yes. So it's a time travel film that lives in rural Laos. So, and this is also the future of filmmaking for myself. I don't know about for everyone else. To make films that no one's ever seen before. To make interesting films that we just want to make. So yeah, like I think that the future of film should just be different and should be neutral. You know, anyone who wants to make a film, make a film. I hope it's good. Because if it's good, then people will watch it. If it's not, well, make another one. I might, Bob. This might be like the crappiest film on earth, but I don't know. It's gonna go on screen.
Just go for it.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
The future is for Malaysia, for ASEAN countries. Of course, we all want to make good films, and good film is always subjective. You may not like my film, I may not like another film, but what we know is that it's really tough putting a film together. It's hard work, it's mud and grime making a film. There's nothing glamorous about it. It's really, really hard work. But I like reading, and most of the time I like collecting pictures because pictures inspire me. Reading, yeah, of course, there's lots of things that you discover that needs to be told, stories that need to be told. But for Malaysia again, we need more new ideas to come up. We need to overcome a lot of things that we are so comfortable with. We need to be a bit more disruptive. So we need stories that will make people a bit uncomfortable. Then people start thinking and reacting. When they are so comfortable with the story, they just love being entertained and they go off and that's it. But I think most of us filmmakers, we want people to react to our work, and it becomes very challenging because a lot of stories have already been told. You want it to be fresh, you want it to be different. And as you go on, it becomes more and more difficult to be fresh with your story. So you have to keep looking and searching for ideas. Being such, I'm not comfortable. We need this community of filmmakers and for film. But I love Hollywood that we cannot do here. And then I get to see it from Hollywood films, and I said, thank God someone is doing it. You know, and they're doing so well, and you really enjoy it. That's one thing I like about it. I love Spanish films, the Almodovar films. I really find that inspiring. And I used to like this Philippine filmmaker. He was really controversial. I can't remember his name, but I remember watching this film, and I couldn't believe that it came from Philippines. It's about completely a very poor society, and how people thought that this girl had special powers, but actually she didn't. But because they thought she had, the whole community came alive, and the stores started opening up, and and it was an incredible film to come out during that time. And it was a Filipino film. Yeah. So and then I saw this Karakan film, I think. It was a small film, but again, it came before its time. It was like years ago, and it's about this wrestler who got married and didn't know what getting married is all about. What do you do on your wedding night? And I thought it was such an incredible story to come from Kerala. And because he's a wrestler, on his wedding night, he was told, do what you do well. Then his wife around. We were done, jam on her. Okay. So I love that kind of film, and and it's been done something great. And I celebrate it. I think the future will hold a lot more stories like that, because we need young filmmakers to come out and be brave with their story, not to copy and be so comfortable with their story. That's what I look forward to.
Thank you, Dr. So disrupt the norm. Disrupt the norm, zone in and zone out, as you please, and create social enterprise. Very
I don't remember my key word. I just said a lot of F words and stuff.
You said, just do it. You said. And can we end with Dino? Do you have any? Sure.
Well, personally, as an actress, it's kind of taking a back seat right now because I just recently assumed the position in government to be the head of the Film Council. So it's really taking me to a new path, but I've taken all my experiences as an actress, the struggles of being an independent actress and putting it into action and finding opportunities for us to be able to give assistance to our filmmakers, to empower our filmmakers in the Philippines. They gave us 8 independent cinema and low important foreign films, and I embrace being able to collaborate and experiences I've had in the past as an actress. Being an actress and going all those 18 years of struggling as an actress has brought me to the impact. Very proud. We have to eat delegating.
Eliza for the concluding remarks, and I wish to thank all of the Paduka. Thank you very much, Paduka, Mehdi, Mary, Siti, Nan, and Liza for showcasing your majesty and beauty that I mentioned earlier, and injecting that mercifulness in filmmaking. I thank you very much, and I pass it back.
Thank you, ladies. Now, before we proceed further, I have a couple of announcements. Number one, tomorrow at the White Baroque, we have Metido, who will be talking about tales from a first-timer, from the Laos perspective, at noon to 2 p.m.
I'm not sure because my plane ticket says I'm flying at 11.
Okay.
So this kind of
Okay, I'll see what I can do about it.
See what happens. I have my theatrical premiere on the 8th. But it didn't get moved to the 8th now, Ivan. It's not on the 7th anymore.
Okay, Lopez. And at 2 p.m., 2 to 4, we have Jacqueline Jose from the Philippines talking about towards Cannes. She's the first Southeast Asian actress to have won Cannes Best Actress Award. And over at Magenta, we have Marie Lee, who will be talking about being an actress to a director from 10 to 12. And from 12 to 2 will be her screening, will be the Certified International Market by Tim Franklin. All right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for the audience. Now, before, of course, as usual, we have something for Dato' Sri Hajah Rohani. We'd like to present a token of appreciation. It's the award for Best Minister. Oh yeah, no. It's a miniature IFA award. How about the shadows? Wow. Okay, fine.
Thank you, Desmond. You're blocking us. Sorry.